Hello everyone. So today's video is about denial. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because I see people in denial all the time. In fact, I just had my own bout of being in denial about something. And I had so many people telling me that I was wrong about what I believed, and there was evidence, and they would point to the evidence, and then I had evidence in writing, and I still just, it was like my mind just shut down. Like I just wanted to stay in denial. And denial is really a protective mechanism. It is a way to help you cope with things that you can't deal with. But sometimes denial can cause problems for you, or it can cause problems for other people. So how do you define denial? So denial is a defense mechanism proposed by Anna Freud, which involves a refusal to accept reality, thus blocking external events from awareness. If a situation is just too much to handle, the person may respond by refusing to perceive it or by denying that it exists. So why do people go into denial? Here's the thing. I'm less frustrated by denial when it doesn't impact anyone else but you. But then by the same token, sometimes it's frustrating to see people in denial because it blocks them from going forward. It blocks them from seeing the truth. And it's just very hard for them to move forward because they're stuck in believing something that's not true. I'll say one of the situations that I've seen a lot is if a kid is clearly ADHD. They have many of the markers. They hear it over and over. You know, the parents hear it a million different times. The kid is having this same issue every single year, no matter, who their teacher is, blah, blah, blah. And they just refuse. And that can create problems for someone because the parent is trying to protect them by not allowing them to have that diagnosis, but left untreated, it could create a lot of psychological issues like low self-esteem because they're always being told that they can't sit still and you can't do this and your behavior and you're always getting in trouble and you're always arguing with someone and you can't focus. And it can also impact their grades, thereby impacting their future careers. So it just gets into a big mess. Let's get into a little bit more of a juicy topic, which is relationships. People often go into denial in relationship situations. Why? Because nobody wants to get hurt. And we want what we want. I think when you have met someone that you are highly attracted to, you just want that person to work out. I've seen more women have an issue with going into denial than men. And I think there's a lot of reasons for that, some of which I won't say because I'm not trying to be controversial or, I'm not trying to start a war. Let's focus on one area of denial in a relationship. You like someone and this relationship is not moving forward at all. Why is that? That is a place where I see people go into deep denial, where they make excuses for the person. The person is giving them crumbs. They're not communicating with them often at all. They go ghost. There's huge lapses in time when they're talking to the person. They say, women want to be married. That is just a fact. Most women, I would say 95% of women want to be married, right? And so a guy tells you point blank, I don't want to be married. And somehow women think they can change their mind, or you're willing to stick around with someone for years. Maybe he will change his mind in 10 years or 12 years, but is that really the person that you want to be with? Or have your hormones caused you to attach to someone that otherwise you really wouldn't be that attracted to at all? And are you missing out on opportunities to meet someone better because you're stuck on someone, and it just doesn't make sense. If a guy is not talking to you on a consistent basis, it means he is not interested in you. And I know that that is hurtful. You want to be the exception to the rule. You're very protective of yourself. You think of yourself as, hey, I'm amazing. So he couldn't not like me. Or rejection is extremely difficult to deal with. The other thing is you think you may never meet anyone else. Like he's got all the stats that you like, that you want. But the truth is the truth. And I think it's just interesting that in relationships, we piece together things in the way that we want them to be. We use our imagination to say that something is that isn't, because it's not like a piece of paper. It's dealing with feelings and emotions. And so we tend to make up whatever we want to make up. But if someone is not being consistent, they're not calling you, they're not talking to you, they're not trying to take you out on dates, they can't wait to see you or talk to you or be with you, and you hear from them maybe once a week or once every couple of weeks, or they pop in and out once a month, or you're chasing them, you're always having to be the one to initiate and call them, then they're not interested. And that is the most hurtful thing that I could ever say to someone, is he's not interested. But it's really hard watching people waste years of their lives with someone who doesn't like them. They're not, and I've done videos on this, earlier, where I talk about, it's not personal. A lot of attraction has to do with your parents of origin. Where were you hurt? What was something that you struggled with in childhood? A lot of times we attract to someone that we need to fix some of those things with. And as an adult, we have more power to do that. But if you don't have that something, then the person may not be attracted to you for an unusual reason or a childhood reason. It's not personal. It's not really personal. But you got to have pride. You have to have pride. Like you have to say, you know what? I'm better than this. I am amazing. I have great qualities. I want to be with someone who wants to be with me. That's part of the fun. Because even though it hurts to pull away from someone, and it will be like stopping a Mack truck. Like you have to find that much energy, that much power, that much persistence and consistency to get out of a situation or detach from someone that is clearly, to everyone around you, not the one. That's going to take enormous energy and it's going to take enormous hurt, but you're going to keep hurting the longer you're in the relationship, quote unquote, with this person. And you can also miss opportunities for the right person. So you really need to pull away so that you can start to heal. But sometimes pride has to be number one and not your heart. And this is where we get into thinking and feeling and being objective. A guy will cut you off, from what I've seen, a lot quicker than a woman will, because they look at it objectively and they say, this isn't going to work. And they use that logic to pull out of difficult situations. And that's where being a feeler in Myers-Briggs can kind of get you in some trouble, because but not necessarily though. I mean, I think estrogen can get you in trouble. So I would just urge you, and I know that if you're in denial, you're not going to hear this either, but please have some pride in yourself. No one is better than you. No one. They can be equal to you. They can have interesting characteristics just like you, But as far as putting someone, making them so much better than you that they can treat you like crap and give you crumbs, and you're still hoping, wishing, praying, believing, having faith when the truth is in your face. I mean, you gotta, man, I don't know what else to say. But just, you know, I guess the opposite of being in denial is telling the truth even when you don't want to tell the truth. And that takes practice. It takes practice. It takes courage. It takes looking at what is and not what you want to believe. You don't want to end up with somebody that is not that into you. That is a miserable way to live. And you're also giving a lot of power to someone who doesn't deserve it, for one, and the person may not even want it, right? They want to move on with their lives, you know? So I know it sounds like I'm fussing. I'm not trying to, I promise. I actually find it hurtful to see people suffer in this way unfairly. I want women to be treated well. I think that's extremely important, but it's got to start with us. Too many times we allow men to mistreat us because our emotions are in the way. Our emotions are super powerful. They grip us. It can be tough to resist. Even I've seen some of the toughest women talk a lot of noise about how, and then they meet a guy and let the guy treat them like absolute crap. So we've got to get stronger. And that doesn't mean that women are better than men or men are better than women. It just means that sometimes our emotions get so in the way that we can't see clearly because we're stuck on someone who is not the right person. Because if they're not acting right and they're not treating you with high standards, treating you well, pursuing you, showing interest, taking you out, calling you every day, doing all those things, then hey, you're better than that. You're better than that. And you have to keep forcing yourself to see the truth. If he's not talking to you, then he's not the one. There's this new thing called prodigal. Maybe I'll do a video on that. Prodigal spouses. But anyway, I'll do another video on that. But be strong, know who you are, know what you deserve. And even if that means that you have to be single for a while, then that is better than lowering your self-esteem. Your self-esteem will be raised by you taking a stand and saying, I'm not accepting this. This is not what I want long term. No, I want to be in a relationship that's working, not one that's imaginary, that I'm making up excuses and saying I'm seeing signs that this person is the right one. None of that. Okay. So anyway, I actually wrote a book. I will put it in this video and it will help you if you're having relationship issues. So check it out. And like I said, maybe I'll try to do some videos that are more like this, like midweek. When you're feeling down in a crappy mood, it's hard to get out of it by simply thinking happy thoughts, especially these days. Check out my jewelry at the Etsy link below. You'll be amazed at how good it feels to wear something that shifts your mood and lifts your spirit. Imagine wearing something fun and feeling better at the same time. Check out my book, The Workplace Narcissist by Tamara Zyon on Amazon. Bye!